my friends, to another LHB Occult Watch. Listen to this verse in 1 Samuel, chapter 15, verse 23. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. Okay? In today's world, we're seeing an uproar against government, an uproar against law and order. And especially here in the United States, we're seeing things that we haven't seen before. On a scale we haven't seen them before. There have always been riots and things of this in the past. But this time, it's almost as if they are rebelling just to rebel. They're protesting just to protest. They're protesting authority. No one can tell me what to do. Apparently, the feminist movement now has incorporated witchcraft. They are declaring themselves witches. Now, this is no surprise since the feminist movement is a movement of rebellion. And as we just read in Scripture, rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. So this is no surprise, really, that they are now outright coming out saying that they are witches and they are the ones to hold the power. And all of us who don't agree with that are afraid of them. Well, on that note, I would say the only one to fear is God himself. Okay? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And apparently, these so-called witches that are also extreme feminists have no fear of the living God. And therefore, they have no wisdom. Let's watch these clips, my friends. As always, through the lens of Scripture. God bless.
Feminists, we have been fighting for the right to be treated correctly.
Witches are what men like Donald Trump are afraid of.
Witches. The word alone immediately conjures up certain images in our minds. But what does it really mean to be a witch today? Salem, Massachusetts, a place known for trying and executing accused witches, is now affectionately called Witch City. And it seems that a growing number of young women and some men are being drawn to a brand of witchcraft. And it's political.
I use the term witch to describe myself. I usually cite the acronym Woman in Total Control of Herself. I am the owner of House Witch, Home and Healing in Salem, Massachusetts. I practice witchcraft. I pull tarot cards. I have crystals everywhere. I make shrines. I cast spells. I meditate. But it's sort of a political distinction, and I think it speaks to my radical feminism.
Both male and female witches are studying the craft under a longtime Salem witch and clairvoyant, Lorelei. You'll notice a significant difference in how the more traditional witches look and practice.
I'm what you call a natural witch. I started at about 12. My mother practiced. The thing about the new word feminist, it's a great thing, but it's something that we've been doing for years. So we're maybe a little different than the younger generation. We may not be as hardcore. I still want a gentleman to open the door for me. And Pan the man, may we always have romance, lust, and trust, so mote it be. A spell basically is a prayer to the universe. We have chalices full of water. We have candles, something that represents the god, the goddess, just like you pray in church.
After the election, especially, I think what the witch is good for is being a force of divine feminine power. And witches are what men like Donald Trump are afraid of. So it's like this perfect symbol.
Around Erica's store has formed a coven made up of astrologists, Reiki masters, and healers, including Erica's fiancée, Melissa, who does Salem witch tours with a feminist focus.
A few deep breaths.
This isn't your grandmother's coven. It's youthful, light, and trendy. Though some are embracing the word, the term witch has been used to ignite fear and shame. The Salem witch trials of colonial Massachusetts started just when Europe's so-called witch craze was beginning to wind down. A combination of limited resources, family rivalries, and extremely strict religious practices set the foundation for Puritans to blame the devil and quote-unquote devil worshippers for their problems. and more than 200 people, mostly widows or women with bad reputations, were accused of being witches, and 20 were executed. It wasn't until early 20th century that women's magazines started portraying witches as beautiful and desirable. This trend continued with the success of the TV show Bewitched in the 60s. The 60s also brought us a feminist group, Women's International Terrorist Conspiracy from Hell, or WITCH, who protested patriarchy by carrying out witch-themed political stunts. In 1985, Wicca, an offshoot of witchcraft, was recognized as a religion by the United States. In recent years, we've seen witches and non-witches publicly reclaiming the title.
The powerful are scared of this figure who has traditionally been pretty powerless, but now that's not the case.
Whether it's Trump or just, all these sexual assault cases, do you think that actually ends up creating more witches?
Totally. The Me Too movement, that's what you're seeing. It's dark, it feels bad, and now this is the only way that we're gonna start to heal it, is by, ripping this Band-Aid off and all coming together. And to me, that sounds like a coven of witches.
As young people